Well, hello and welcome to Zwift Live. This is your new weekly community racing feature, and I'm going to be your host, Nathan Guerra. We're going to be focusing each and every week on your best and greatest of the community of racing on Zwift. It's the heart of Zwift racing, so we're going to be talking to in-depth interviews with racers, organizers, as well as everyone that we can find across the community that is interested in getting involved. So make sure to show up here weekly for this new feature. Now, this week, we are featuring an awesome women's series that's coming up here starting this Saturday, and that is the Iceni Women's Series. And today, they put together a warm-up Iceni Dash that they're going to be taking on the Makuri 40. But for the Iceni Women's Series, it's a 4-week women's series running on Saturdays throughout September. There's 2 time slots, each of them with a dedicated series points competition. If you want to find out more information about the Iceni Women's Series, as well as the Warrior Games who puts on the Iceni Series, you can go over to zwiftinsider.com/WMN. And that is actually a new section on Zwift Insider that's all about highlighting the women's racing scene on Zwift. Now, again, the Iceni Women's Series that this warm-up dash is all about, it starts this Saturday with 2 slots at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. UTC, and it'll be running for 4 weeks at that exact time. Now, we've got a familiar face out here with us today that's going to be joining me as a co-host, and that is going to be none other than Dave Toll. Dave, it's so great to have you back out here to covering some community racing, and I'm super excited for this warm-up dash to kick off the Iceni series.
Thanks, Nathan. It's great to be back with you. It really is. And boy, did you choose a great event to start with. The warm-up dash here. We're such big fans of Carla and Jamie Lee Wright. So really looking forward to getting a chance to kind of elevate and highlight the work that they've done. It's going to be a big season on Zwift. And these women's clubs, Nathan, they are where it's at. We've been celebrating Aeonian for multiple years now, and they're only getting better, stronger, and the events are incredible.
100%. And to give a great look at where the Warrior Games, the Iceni series, and this women's series has come from, you actually had a great chat with Carla Williams, who's one of the founders of the Warrior Games. Let's go check that out.
Hey, Carla, will you enlighten us on what the Warrior Games are all about?
The Warrior Games started or was established in 2020 to create opportunities for women to race in a supportive and welcoming environment with equal recognition in all levels.
Were you already familiar with the historic significance of the women and places that you honor through the Warrior Games?
No, actually, no. When we decided to put the Tour de Boudica, we wanted some sort of warrior women strength, empowerment. And I live in Suffolk in the UK, and there is the Iceni tribe, which is quite close to where I am, is in East Anglia. And the queen was Queen Boudica. So I'm trying to get events that reflect this lovely and powerful queen, Boudica, that was around where I live. So we have Boudica, we have Iceni, and there is another series that I will host. It's called Andrasta, which is a goddess. So I like to, we like to put things that I they're related. It's lovely.
Are you surprised by the success that you've seen along the way over the last couple of years?
I feel like I am, because I have to highlight there is big new developments in the Zwift community, the women's community. And now we have the Femme Cycle Collab, which is a great group of people trying to highlight and bring awareness and participation into women's races. So I think it feels now that, I think we are part of a movement trying to make the sport better for women.
What has your personal Zwift journey been all about?
I mean, I remember when I started on Zwift, that was in 2016. I got really hooked to racing. I just like the energy, the feeling to be surrounded by other women, encouraging one another. And I think that spirit is what makes me feel passionate about and motivated to keep pushing and trying to make the e-sport in women's e-racing even bigger and better.
You definitely have traveled with others to go far. One person that stands out, I'd love to hear you talk about Jamie Lee Wright and her involvement.
Yeah, she's one of my closest friends. I know each other for over 5-6 years, and it's nice to have been able to, apart from the Warrior Games, I'm the co-manager of Aeonian Race Team, so having her being my right-hand person, being through with my friend, we ride even outside in real life. It's just lovely to have somebody that you can rely on, and I think it's nice to have a community of sisters, a sisterhood. It's just lovely.
Do you feel the impact and change that your events have created?
Yeah, sometimes I just really can't believe how popular all these events that I provide, like Iceni and the Tour de Boudica, have become. We have the Iceni series happening in September next month, this month. And we have Iceni in March, which we celebrate International Women's Month. And we have the Tour de Boudica, which is a 3-day stage racing. We have it in January. And I'm mind blown by how everything how people like the events, and it's just lovely to see that I'm able to contribute. And I don't know, it's just sometimes I can't believe what's happened with all these events. It's just lovely. I absolutely love it.
Thank you for your time, Carla.
Thank you for inviting me.
Oh man, at the end there, Dave, that's just really heartwarming, honestly. Like, you can see the impact that the community has had on her life, as well as you can kind of feel the vibes that she's gotten from everybody in the community back to her by giving and organizing all this. What a great interview, and what a great way to kick this off with this women's series.
Yeah, she is such a kind and genuine, but really smart woman as well. Nathan, I didn't even realize until you told me today that Carla's first language most likely is not English either, which is mind-blowing to me. But she's from Peru, but living there now. And we'll have a chance during the race to talk even more about how important what she's doing is. We need more Carlas in this world, that's for sure.
100%. Well, let's take a quick look at the course for today. We're out on the Makuri 40. It's going to be 40. It's going to be one lap. And there's a little bit of climbing out there, 307-ish meters or so. It's going to start uphill, Dave, up to that castle.
Yeah, Nathan, there's a bunch of familiar sprint lines: village sprint, country sprint, alley sprint, but we don't have any points today. It's a scratch race, so we're racing just to the finish line where everything will be sorted out. But this is a course that has everything, including the kitchen sink.
This is true. It's going to be a little bit flatter after that climb up to the castle, and a little bit of a downhill into Urikazi, that little section of islands there. And then they're going to hit that Shisha sprint, that little bump, and then it's nothing but climbing after that Shisha sprint, a little climb there, a little bit of a downhill over that Mech Island area, and then uphill, a little bit of a reprieve for a moment for that, but it's pretty much uphill to the finish line for the last few K. There's kind of a setup moment though, as you leave Urikazi and come back into Makuri official. After the dirt, it's a little kind of downhill and flat, and then it's an uphill finish. It's quite a kick, actually. It's an interesting one to try and set up because it's kind of a double bump to that finish. So it'll be interesting how the riders play that one out. So Dave, I think it's going to be kind of tactical being a scratch race out here today.
I would agree. And, part of tactics is selecting the right weapon for the battle. And I think that an aero bike today is going to be the way to go. As you said, 307-ish meters of climbing, but it's never that severe, to tell you the truth. So it's not a day where you're going to be looking for that climbing bike and going for lightweight. Definitely aero is the name of the game out here. We should also, when you look at it, a lot of excitement about this race. You know that they will be splitting this group at some point, Nathan, and it might happen really early out here, as it's rough right off the start line. You're almost climbing immediately, really, for the first 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, really, the climb right from the get-go is going to be really interesting. you can draft a lot on that climb up toward the castle. There's a lot of ability to sit in, but it is extended enough that we may see some people fall off the back right from the get-go. So that's going to be interesting as to how people play that out.
Good race to be warmed up for. As we've talked with Kristen Armstrong a lot, you don't want to use up your race energy in your warm-up, but you also don't want to come into this one cold with dead legs either. So I'm sure that those riders right about now, Nathan, are starting to feel that pressure as we get very close to launching them out onto course. This is going to be really, really exciting. 40K of racing, and this seems to be the new trend, Nathan, with Zwift World Series coming up as well. Seems like the people have spoken, and this duration of race is really what a lot of folks are looking for. So, yeah, buckle up. It's going to be a good hour at least out on the bike.
It is. Well, let's go right down into the action as the ladies are jumping out on course. And as they do, they're going to hit up that climb right from the get-go that we had spoken about. We're looking at Sarah Sykes right now. And there is both, they already came through the official start of the race, but that right here that you're seeing, you are not going to see it again until we actually hit the finish. But this is the finish line. Actually, it's a little virtual banner, Dave, and this is what I'm talking about. 10% gradient for that finish.
Yeah, and Nathan, I'm watching purple jerseys right now. Take a look at Galaxy here. If you go to Zwift Power, you're going to see that Galaxy has 5 riders that on paper are stacking up more or less in our top 10. So this is going to be one of the squads to watch today. Team Rave, obviously. These are some of the names that you'll recognize if you've been with us watching ZRL over the last few years. But that's what I was talking about, Nathan. They pressed the accelerator on the front of this group. So you really, as you said, want to make sure that you're smart about staying in the wheels here.
Yeah, and we do see Galaxy heading toward the front right now. Jay Carter going to be a rider that's trying to make a little bit of a difference. And you can recognize a lot of these jerseys. That is going to be something that we should probably highlight here, Dave, is the jerseys that we do have in game to be able to recognize who is who when it comes to any of the teams that might be working together a little bit here. I like this kit here. This is looking like a newer Galaxy kit to me. Galaxy Cycling Club in this purple, looking nice.
Yeah, great refresh there. This has been a really strong team through the years as well. Nathan, great job on the camera work as well, getting to highlight that extremely cool Zwift bike. That reminds me of my early days doing Zwift commentaries. We see our riders right now in this group. This is our C women's field as Nathan has found the Canadian. Watch out for Jill Carter today. We should talk, Nathan, about some of the riders to watch if it does come down to a pure sprint. Chelsea Williams of the Herd team really stands out to me. She's almost at 600 watts raw power. That's nearly 10 watts per kilo in her 15-second power. So that's the kind of rider that you want to put under pressure early and keep her under pressure because, man, if she's able to unleash her patented sprint, watch out.
Yeah, Chelsea Williams, definitely one to be watching out for. We can go ahead and bring up a little bit of comparison, see how she compares to some of the other riders out there. She's a
Don't compare her to me, please.
Yeah. We are looking here at 596 watts, 9.9 watts per kilogram in the C category, 15-second sprint there, as you can see there. Nice kick from the Herd rider there. You can be watching out for. That's the best that we have actually in this pack at the moment, as far as just a pure 15-second watt per kilogram sprint. So they're going to be looking to probably try to get rid of Chelsea as quickly as they possibly can.
Yeah, agreed, Nathan. That would be bike racing 101. But I would even make a case for someone like the South African Lily Franklin on Team Italy. Even though her numbers don't quite compare, there's something to after 40K. Sprints are a little bit different. There is 300 plus meters of climbing on this course. So that's going to be the Team Italy's job of kind of trying to soften things up along the way here. Galaxy comes in with such a strong team, multiple riders that they can look out here. So it's really great, Nathan, to see that it's not a bunch of individual women showing up to race in this C level. You really want to be aligned with a squad and come into this race with a plan if you're going to be looking to get a result. That's a big part of, we just featured Matt Jansen on the Zwift cast this last week. And well, let me talk about this Italian attack going clear right now. Very, very animated at the front. So, when I talk about softening this group up, Nathan, this is exactly how you do it. She's got the tenderizer out right now and wailing away. And there's going to be a couple of riders that are going to be really feeling this at the back of this group.
Well, look at those RPM. She is spinning the win out here, that's for sure. 116 RPM we could see there for just a moment. 158 beats per minute. And Carter here, very interested, it seems like, in trying to press this advantage just a little bit. As they come around this corner, it is going to end up into a little bit of a downhill, though, as they head through the rest of Makuri. It'll be interesting if she is able to split anything, because the speed of a group off the front is going to work better than just a solo rider. This does descend enough that they can get into a super tuck just a little bit if they can get up to that 57 kilometers per hour. I'm not sure that's going to be happening, though, but now taking over at the front in the red there. We'll see if we can find who this rider is. It looks like it's going to be Westergaard, I believe that's taking over at the front. Coming out of Norway, but now backing right on off, it looks like. And is that going to be a Zwift Academy kit? No, not identified with any team in game, but an Ionian now to the front, it looks like. And maybe some alarm bells, but looks like things are cooling down a little bit at the moment. Lots of power-ups being used.
We should note, seeing that Ionian kit there, that's the green sides, almost like you'd see from the Slovenian team with the dark blue back. That is Ionian. And Carla Williams, who we were interviewing earlier, is in this race today. So we'll see if we can, or at least I had her on my start list out here. She's been doing so much work to organize things. It's incredible that she races at such a high level in this C field as well. So seeing some burrito power-ups, we can talk about how that minimizes or actually completely shuts down the draft around you for a brief period of time. So Nathan, we could talk about power-ups here. People who know Zwift racing are well aware of how impactful they are in the racing, and seeing some ride-ons as well being thrown to our riders. I love it. The support group, women lifting up other women alive and well out here.
Yeah, loving to see it completely. And those ride-ons, you can actually see how many are given on the right-hand side there in our rider list nearby. So throw them down. It looks like Tam Kostin's throwing down 50 ride-ons so far. So we have no official competition for those ride-ons, but you can make one for yourself. 122 actually for one of the riders there. So keep them coming. Love to see it as the riders make their way through. We were getting a quick little highlight there of that Ionian kit. And as we do, we're going to give a big shout out to them and a thank you for what they have done to put this series on. That's coming up this Saturday, as well as this warm-up dash out here today as we cover this C category. Ionian, it looks like, showing up in force with all that AEO next to the names.
Yeah, one of the world's all-time great virtual cycling clubs, without any doubt. I mean, the world champion now is a world tour rider, to be fair, for the Francais de Jeux team, but Los Adahaste rode for Ionian and I maybe even still does when she's racing virtually. But so they've had really, I guess it would be the spectrum that you're talking about there, Nathan, all the way from women getting into racing for the first time and looking for that support to the top racers on the planet right now on that Ionian squad. So yeah, we could go on and on about them. They have been such a huge part of the community, but they've got their hands full out here today. Some really motivated teams having at it. Nathan, this is going to be fun to watch the different strategies being deployed out here. I think a lot of teams are sitting back on their heels right now, going to let the script write itself for the moment. As you can see, the group fanning out across the bridge right now. It's only a matter of time until there's a flurry of attack. They will activate a game plan, no question.
Luis Koppen here for the WCC team has been making her way to the front here and there. She's on that S-Works Venge, it looks like, with a nice setup. That's one of the fastest bikes in game for sure. So she's definitely done her homework when it comes to what to be on as far as the bikes go today, if it does come down to a sprint. But Luis Koppen coming out of Great Britain. She's a level 53 Zwifter, actually. Has a pretty good FTP at about 3.3. That's on the upper echelon of the ladies out here today. So she definitely has a shot at this one, I think. And I think she's been sneaking to the front to maybe try and take advantage of that, perhaps, if she can. Now, WCC, this is going to be the Wobble Cycle Club riders. Great to have them showing up out here today, and they are an all-inclusive cycling team built from experience. They aim to be the friendliest team on Zwift, building strong teams and stronger friendships. They actually have their own website over at wobblecycleclub.com. They've got, it looks like, all kinds of in-real-life racing as well as Zwift racing. So WCC, one of those expressions from in real life to Zwift racing. We see them going both ways, don't we? Virtual to in real life to virtual these days, Dave.
Absolutely. That's a tough one, Nathan, to be the friendliest club on Zwift. Not easy. I wanted to shout out, Nathan, I was just noticing there are, I believe, 7 women who are in the 60 plus category out racing with us. It's worth shouting out the Owls, isn't it? The older women in Lycra group. That's been another one of the really fun areas to watch that delta. The growth has been exceptional. So, yeah, 7 women, 60 plus throwing down in this field.
Awesome to see. And some of the strongest women in the field, actually.
Yeah, a few of them. Absolutely.
Like Pam Thomas.
Like our Finnish rider, Nathan, Eli Lorila. She's going to be a contender out here. Her 15-second power is right up there at the top of the table. So, yeah, the Team Rave rider I'm talking about from Finland, I'm keeping my eye on here.
Yeah, be on the watch out for her. Now, she's going to be one that's going to want to break things, though, because she's got that 3.5 watts per kilogram, but her 15-second at 7.3, it's going to suffer on because really, Dave, think about it. When it comes to a sprint out here today, on an uphill sprint, that watt per kilogram for 15 is going to be the biggest number you got to watch out for.
Couldn't agree more, Nathan. So, but I want to go back to where you started there. She will unleash the fury, I think, from 10K out with that 20-minute power that she's got. That's her strength, right? You don't play the game of getting sucked into how they want to race. Race the way that you want to race, right? Animate and dictate rather than being dictated to. I'd rather be the boss than the secretary, right? So I think that right now, I don't see anybody who's better equipped to attack this race with old school fury, Nathan, in the finale than Ms. Lorila, the Finnish rider on Team Rave. She's got some teammates here. Kristen S. is another rider that would be useful in trying to set something up for her. So, yeah, tactics are going to be at a high level. But I'm going to guess that you'd sign off on what I'm talking about when you look at her 20-minute power.
Yeah, and I think that will come into much more of a question mark once we do hit that Shisha sprint, right? Like, this is going to be pretty calm for quite a while. We're looking forward to Neokyo here. There's going to be a little dirt coming up though here, isn't there, Dave? Right? That is one section that you can watch out for. We do see an arrow power up being used. That's because we are going to go through a banner here in just a moment. Now, again, the sprints do not matter. They might do a little bit of a warm-up sprint here, anticipating for perhaps this weekend. But really, this is just about using a power up and getting another one. A little bit of a kick here from Galaxy, though. They're having some fun with it. Good to see Carter here, liking what I'm seeing here from Carter. Little bit of a kick, having some fun. Maybe a little push with that extra speed from the arrow. But now all back together. There will be a little bit of a descent and then into the dirt. And then they're going to head on over to the Neokyo underpass, or that little tunnel that you go through. And it is dirt through there. And a lot of times when you head through that dirt, you do get an advantage because the draft is not quite as great because it slows things down. So you don't get as much of advantage from the speed that's gained from the draft.
Level 100 Zwifter alert, red alert, Nathan, Aeonian rider here on the front. This is a real danger woman, Tracy Seeley, that we're talking about. You want to talk about experience. She really is the entire package and a bag of chips when you look at it. So watch out for Seeley here, who looks to be coming good. We've got a long way to go. Still looking at over 32 kilometers of racing. Nathan, I think it's fair to say that we have not moved into the real battle royale at this point. These women are showing a lot of respect for this field. Nobody wants to put themselves out there too much in order, because they realize, I really do think that respect for this field is being shown right now.
Yeah, and they know what's coming. I think, Dave, the reality of a lot of the climbing on the back end, as we saw in that course profile. You've got that kind of a punch of, I don't know, I think it's like 3-4 minutes maybe for that climb into the Shisha Sprint over in Irakazi. But then after that, it is a steady, not really steep, but steady grind back into these exact roads, actually, onto Makuri. And that reverse section into the uphill sprint, I think they're thinking about that. And it's a long race, as you said, Dave. You waste too much up front here, you can be in trouble later.
In my mind, Nathan, for a lot of these riders, you really have to be thinking about conserve as much as you can, especially through this sector here, and then unleash in the Shisha Sprint. At that point, then, you're down into what I would call the business end of this race, right? So you try to get rid of a few of your danger women, the biggest power sprinters there, and then you kind of move into the second act. As you said, it is kind of a two-tiered approach to the finale, to the finish line, isn't it?
It is. It's going to be the initial kick up to the dirt section to come back into Makuri, which is really interesting. That's one point of interest for sure on this course, that you have the climb out of Irakazi, which is a steady, but at the end of it, there's a whole dirt section. So essentially, you could press the pace until you hit that dirt and then attack into the dirt, try and get a gap, and then accelerate into a little bit of a downhill-ish through a flat section that's about a K long before you go into that uphill. If you're not confident in your uphill sprint, that's the moment really to take advantage of the pack.
Yeah, well said, Nathan. Real mix of riders, but I feel like the level's starting to rise right now up on the front here. As you can see, the shape of the group is changing, a little bit more of a spearhead right now. And riders, I think, are starting to scramble a little bit for position. You can feel the intensity ratcheting up right now, Nathan.
Yeah, I do think that is because of the dirt that is coming up here in just a moment. There's going to be perhaps a moment where riders can make a little bit of an attack through that dirt section, as the draft is going to be there quite as much. Maybe a couple of power-ups can be used. I did want to highlight here, we do have a ZRL champion in the group. This is going to be Franken from the Team Italy, Castelli. By Elite. Now, she's got that ZRL helmet on, and that is a definite sign that somebody knows exactly what she's doing when it comes to racing on Zwift.
Yeah, ZRL's been awarding the helmets over the last few seasons for our championship teams. It looks like she's the only one wearing that in this group as well. So good catch, Nathan.
Yeah, it's good to see the representation there. And
it was your old team.
Yeah, it's true. Definitely. And I'm liking the setup there as far as the fashion goes. Nicely done with the blue and the Tron bike, as you can see. So very well done there. And you did notice, now perhaps they're just not using their ZRL helmets. Perhaps it's not, the ladies I think are a little bit more up on the fashion, Dave. So they tend to, well, does the ZRL helmet actually fit with my kit at this moment?
Well, and also a lot of people won't give up their Scotty the Squirrel ears either, even for a ZRL helmet. Those are quite popular still.
It's true.
At least 3 in this peloton.
Now we are hitting that dirt section we were talking about. Now, one thing for those who may be wondering, how can you tell when you are on dirt? Because you have things that look like dirt but are gravel, and then things that are dirt. And this is dirt that has that kick up of dust behind you there, and it doesn't look like asphalt as much. It doesn't look, it's not quite as, it just has that little bit more gritty look to it. As you can see, it looks like a little bit of mud on sides of it sometimes. You're on dirt, especially if that dust starts kicking up. And this is a section where the ladies could take advantage of, but it looks like not going to be happening. Everybody's pretty chill at this point as we head into Neokyo.
Yeah, and this is a level now, a lot of experience. We're talking about ZRL, which is kicking off here. And many of these women, Nathan, have hundreds of races on Zwift under their belt. So even though this is a C-level race, there's a lot of familiarity amongst this group of women, and that's part of what makes this so much fun. Yes, you always have riders coming out of the woodwork. That's one of the beautiful things about the Zwift-verse, that there's always going to be people discovering Zwift, but at the same time, there have been some long-running battles in this group. So most of these women pretty familiar with the competition that they've got. As we go inside of 29K to go. And this is Nyokyo at its best.
It is. We'll see if there's any attacks that come through here. I think it's going to be pretty chill until we hit perhaps that downhill section. Might give a little bit of an opportunity as we do leave Nyokyo. Now, speaking of people that are familiar with the world of women's racing, we did have a chance to catch up with Katrine Nilsson, and she had volunteered as somebody who's deeply involved in the women's racing scene, who uses the platform specifically actually as a Paralympic athlete. She is the pilot actually for tandem racing that is taking place at the Paris Paralympic competition this week. And we thought it'd be great to give you a quick little look into what her experience is with the platform and women's racing. Well, welcome to Zwift Live, Katrine Nilsson. It's great to have you here. Where are you at right now? And what for?
At the moment, I am in a hotel in Italy. I'm here with Louise Jannering, and I am her pilot in tandem racing. We are tomorrow going to the Paralympic Village in Paris to race.
I hear that you're a part of a team, and it's one of the longest standing teams on Zwift, Team Cryogen.
Yes. When I was a newbie in Zwift a couple of years ago, they were like welcoming me with open arms. I had no idea how Zwift worked or anything, but that is the only team I've been racing for ever since.
Now, what's really interesting to me is, how did you get involved in the Paralympic movement?
Yeah, it's a good question. When Louise, the stoker who sits back on a tandem bike, when her previous pilot, Anna, retired after the Paralympics in Tokyo, Louise were looking for a new pilot, and I was one of those who applied for tests to be a pilot. We became a really good team, and after a year we decided that okay, it will be she and me who will focus on getting to Paralympics in Paris.
What is that experience like for you as the pilot?
Yeah, I mean, it's so much more, how to say, a responsibility, because the thing I like is that we are a team. I normally, when I was racing or am racing solo, I can feel a bit alone, but since we are on the same bike, we are more like a team, and that is what I like about the tandem. But regarding the responsibility, even though we make like big decisions together, you know, those micro moments when you have to like make a decision right there and right now, that is a little bit up to me, and that is a lot of responsibility.
How does being a Paralympic athlete relate to your racing on Zwift and training on Zwift?
Also together with Louise, actually. We have been racing races with the tandem bike on Zwift, and that is also a good way. It has been a good way to continue to develop our communication and which words to use on a bike. But also, I mean, I use it every day. It's the most important tool in my training.
It's been really, really great hearing your story, and the best of luck at the Paralympics.
Thank you. And thank you for having me on Zwift Live.
So awesome to hear from Katrine and to hear about what this women's racing community has done in bringing those two together, Dave, and that right now, this week, they're at the Olympics. And I don't know, that's just, you can see the joy that they have there, as well as the competitive spirit to be able to compete at the highest level, and that they use Zwift in order to, and she had said also another point that I couldn't really bring in was this idea that the communication, like being apart from each other, it actually enhanced their tandem ability.
I love that story. That is one great interview, Nathan. Really good job with that. She's an amazing woman. And I am surprised that we didn't really identify her story earlier. That's one of the coolest things I've heard in a long time. So I I'm really looking forward to see what kind of a result that they can get. When I was talking with her last week, Nathan, they had just gone through a major mechanical on their tandem. One of the wheels collapsed underneath them. And I was actually really excited that that happened in Italy before they went to the games. Right? They were able to. That's why you do your recon work and don't just show up and expect to race. They were preparing for quite a while there in Italy. So, yeah, good luck to them. That's for sure. Paralympics rolling on right now, as a matter of fact. So, yeah, we'll have to check in with that as we're down to 25.7K of racing here. Grupo Compacto, more or less.
Yeah, Grupo Compacto, I think nobody's really going to be making any moves, again, like we had said, until we really hit that climbing section out of Yurikazi. These ladies, they are calm and cool. They know their Zwift racing, don't they? Because they know exactly what they need to be doing out here. They've done their recons, and, you know, you kind of feel like a little bit of that when you're at the Tour de France, there's a stage where you're kind of like, well, the reality is that the racing is on a certain part of the course, and only those who really, really want to take their chances and really roll the dice are going to really make any moves. And we saw it early on with Jay Carter from Galaxy, what she did over the top of that castle climb. It put the herd on, it split the group, but from there on out, Dave, they're looking forward to where the real matches need to be burned.
Yeah, you know, I love it. This is very high-level racing here in our C field, and there's very little to be gained. As a matter of fact, I can't imagine too many scenarios, especially when you look at the details and the data that the women have. There's no one here that should think that they could attack this group with 25K to go. And that, again, comes back to respect for the quality of the field here. You have to really look at your risk-reward ratio. And there's a lot of risk with very little reward to attack out of this group of strong women at this point on the course. As we said, I wouldn't expect anything really to go down. And as I say that, you can see it has been an impressive job of at least keeping the speed high out here by the Rave team and the Galaxy squad.
Little bit of a push on here. Maybe I did see Carter there from Galaxy now. Again,
keeping everyone honest, Nathan, I think.
Yeah, she's been one of those riders that's really been pressing the pace here and there. Now, we did see one rider here falling off the back, it looked like, just a moment ago. Now, this is going to be a chase group here with Mel Scheichel from WAP Fabric. We've got Chris here from Rave as well. We've got Backhouse from Ionian now up toward the front, it looks like, of the main group here now at this point. So, interesting to see now Aeonian maybe thinking that this is a section to make a little bit of move as her, Backhouse, and Carter starting to up this 4% gradient, make a little bit of a push. Perhaps I did think that Herd Rider was not getting back on turns, but it looks like she has gotten back into the race here now at this point, at least at the front end. But Carter, she just continues on with that high cadence. She's kind of just setting tempo, almost controlling the race, Dave.
Yeah, I wonder if this is direction from the team, just looking to up the pace a little bit. It must be, right? This is not just someone stretching their legs right now. This is a bit of a push that we're looking at from Jill Carter. So, Nathan, this is going to animate the race a little bit. And again, every now and then you've got to zig when they zag.
I'm liking it here as Carter pushes on that Zwift bike here, as we can see into the next power up.
It's turning into an attack.
Alley sprint. Yeah. Interesting with that burrito here. She's got a little bit of distance. It's starting to create some separation. We'll see if we can get, there it is. There's the separation you start to see as it starts to go single file, Dave. That's when you know the pressure is on, as Team Italy now makes its way to the front.
Yeah, and now this is where it gets really dicey here. Now, we mentioned at the start of the broadcast that there are no bonification at these sprints as they go underneath that arch, but this is a little bit of a split starting to happen, so you needed to be on your toes in this group. The second that you think everything's going to be chill for a while, something like this happens. So some animated racing going on as we weave our way through the market district here in the Oak Hill.
Yeah, and you can see the riders looking to try and get back on terms. They're just keeping it calm at the back there. Watt Fabric, you can see Herd as well with the green. There is 2 Herd jerseys, just so you know, in this race right now. We do have the green as well as the red. Let's get a good look at those, just so everybody knows exactly what we're talking about as we reference them. The Herd team, as you can see here, this is going to be the red kit that we were talking about. And I'm absolutely loving how they put all of the different herd animals on the back here. It's so good to see from Claire Spencer here.
A lot of ride-ons for Claire out there today as well. Great job by the Herd team. Nathan, this is really animated out here. No doubt about it. Jill Carter's taken out the sledgehammer and is just wailing away. She's breaking this group up into much smaller bits right now. And you can see riders sitting. So this is where positioning did matter. If you were sitting at the back of this group, the alarm bells are ringing a little bit louder back there than they are up here. Is Harriet Gilson getting up, Tam Costain as well, trying to just stay in the mix right now. You don't want to do too much, but right now you got to do something.
Yeah, this is going to be Harriet Gilson trying to chase things down. She was one of the riders I'd looked at prior to the race, actually, to see who was maybe one of the riders to watch out for. And she's having a good ride out here today. I'm loving the kit that she's in, actually. Pretty cool to see here from Gilson. But that cow kit is actually not going to be a Herd kit. It says that from what I'm seeing, she's riding for Cryo RDT, if I'm not incorrect.
So, Nathan, what I would point out here is you take a look at Jill Carter off of the front. Look at her teammates sitting in waiting, right? Trying to stay in the wheels, let the other riders chase back. This very well could be a prelude to a big, big moment from Galaxy. They are setting the table right now for what could be a 12-course journey in through pain.
Yeah, and you can see the separation now forming here. And this is going to be Beskia now sitting in
all
as
over
well. It's going to be Meskova as well as there. Galaxy is all over the front of this, and they're grabbing power-ups as they come through these banners here. 4 Galaxy kits all in the top 5 to 6 now at this point. As Carter now was pressing the pace, but now Aeonian takes over at the front, and that's going to be Tam Costain.
Yeah, okay, so the counterattacks is what I'd be watching for now because Galaxy's definitely let their plans be known. You can see that team in purple all over the front right now. But Nathan and that group is much smaller, isn't it? We've taken another 5 riders or so out of our front group. So this is the elimination game. So Galaxy has made a big impact in this race as we're down to 21.5K of racing remaining. And Galaxy just body blow after body blow being thrown by Galaxy right now. And Nathan, they've done themselves some huge favors as it was 5 Galaxy riders in a group of around 35. Now it's 5 Galaxy in a group of 20. I got to like those numbers.
Yeah, and again, at the front, it's going to be Carter again making moves. As you can see here, Jill Carter just continues on with this pace. Now, Aeonian controlling, though, behind there. And I have a feeling that they're playing it smart. You know, when it comes to tactics, Dave, Aeonian know their stuff, don't they?
They absolutely do. And every now and then, patience really is the way that you win these races. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case today. It tends to be, though, is understanding when to play your cards makes a huge difference. I really think that what Galaxy is doing here, Nathan, is going to be for Zuzka. That's Zuzka Meskova. That when you look at it, she's one of the best equipped riders to attack or carry on from here. Level 100 Zwifter, but her 20-minute power is what I'm looking at here. And is this going to be a setup for Ziskova? Well, I tell you what, there's another team. Haven't even mentioned Cryo RDT, one of the all-time great squads in Cryo now on the move. This is Jessica Lee that we're, let me get that right, Harriet Gilson that we're looking at right now.
Yeah, and Harriet Gilson, she is the sole Cryo RDT rider out here, I believe. Looking through here, and she's taking full advantage of knowing that there are teams out here that she does not want to have to deal with, right, Dave? If she can take advantage of this situation right now, go over the top of Jill Carter's attack and see if she can get some distance or work with Carter. But Carter, she's not waiting for her. She says enough is enough, continues on. Look at this, though. At 3.0, 2.6, I think she's thinking, do I want to commit to this solo at this point?
Well, you know what I love here, Nathan, is she's found a rhythm right now. Look at her heart rate sitting right there at about 165. I have a feeling that Harriet is a woman that can get comfortable being relatively uncomfortable out here. 20K to go. This is an impact moment now. The other teams are going to really have to decide how much they want to commit to chasing back Harriet Gilson. So, Nathan, if you're going to be the only rider on your team, I like her style. Right? Take it to them right now. Come on, Harriet Gilson. Let's see what she can pull off now. Watching this gap start to grow, going out to, we're starting to look at Carter at 4 seconds here. This has to be taken seriously, Nathan.
Yeah, I get the feeling that she's, I have a feeling that looking at the power she's putting out, I get the feeling she's second guessing this one right now. Like, what am I
She's
doing
backing
out
off
here?
a little.
Yeah, like what am I
Yep.
doing out here? And she was expecting Jill to work with her, but it looks to me like you were spot on the money there, Dave. That Carter was looking to set up Galaxy, maybe not herself. I think she could have held the wheel there, but instead she just said, "Look, my team's not there. Now I've got Gilson here. I'm not sure I want to work with her."
I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into Gilson's background here, Nathan. She certainly has earned that riding off of the front right now. But yeah, I actually think that she was trying to put out a little bit of an invite to see if maybe Jill Carter wanted to work with her a little bit. And Jill Carter passed. She said, "I'm good." And Harriet Gilson was like, "Well, now I'm out here." And yeah, good call by Gilson. That was a big ask to attack with 20K to go to hold off this group. So no harm, no foul, right? She gets out there, stretches her legs a little bit, but it's not like she went so deep. You could see that she backed off on her heart rate there. I think once she realized that she wasn't going to get any help and didn't want to be in a solo move, maybe 2-3 riders with her would have been what she was looking for. But I'm going to give her credit, Nathan. That's how you roll the dice. And then every now and then, I'm sure we've all been there before, you realize I'm a little overextended. It's either time to fish or cut bait. And a lot of times cut bait is the answer.
Well, Harriet Gilson, Cryo RDT, she's a level 60 Zwifter. She's got 160 races underneath her belt coming out of the UK for Cryo RDT. Great to see her joining in with us. It's got a well updated Zwift power profile, so I appreciate that from her. As it does look like we whittled things down here, though, haven't we, Dave? How many are
Well, we really have.
in this front group here at this point? I'm going to see if I can get a good head count.
That's not even 20 now, Nathan. Well, probably right under 20, I would say. I'm still looking at Zuzka. She's champing at the bit right now, Zuzka Moskova. Her team has been really good about getting us to this position, 18K of racing, but a lot of the intensity is still on the back end, still to come out here. Taking some inventory now, though, Nathan. I mean, if you look at it, who is our best sprinter on paper left in this group? And will our winner be alone at the finish line? To tell you the truth, I think there's a pretty good likelihood that plays out this way, Nathan. This group has been really softened up along the way, and we're really starting to move into a much more intense finale than what they've seen now. So these women, I think, are going to be bracing themselves for what's going to be a pretty tough next 25 minutes of racing here.
A rider that we haven't really talked about a whole lot yet is going to be one that maybe Galaxy is working for out here. And it is going to be this Gabriela Fajardo coming out of the USA. She's got an 8.6 watt per kilogram kick. And, we still do have Chelsea Williams from the herd in here. So be on the watch out for her as well with that 9.9. Luis Koppen is there as well with an 8.8. That 9.9 just really stands out amongst the rest of them. I think everybody's kind of going to be watching Chelsea Williams as she has made this. But somebody who's being worked for here, I think, is that we haven't seen Gabriela on the front at all. She's been just following wheels. And I have a feeling perhaps the softening up of the legs by Galaxy is for this rider.
I would agree, Nathan, but the biggest problem here now is going to be the Chelsea Williams issue. No doubt about it. If you can't get her out of this group, and I think that really Shisha is where you're going to have to make your big effort. This is going to be more than even one team might be able to do. But when you look at her power, I mean, again, 15-second power, very close to 10 watts per kilo. That stacks up at the very high end out her. Her raw power is at 600 watts out here. So the herd rider, Nathan, is the woman to beat at this point.
100%. Very true. I'm seeing another rider here coming out of Sweden. She made this front group as well? Malin van Wout. I wonder if there's, looking through here, this is going to be a level 41 Zwifter, actually. And good to see her joining us here also from the herd team, as she has made this front group. Nicely done by her, as I think she's a little bit newer to this C category. So big upgrade for her. Now, Aeonian, knowing the reality of this course, is doing exactly what they should be doing as they hit this dirt section. There's not going to be a whole lot of drafting here. So it is going to be Backhouse now making another move. This is a good move actually here from Backhouse and putting people on the rivet, on the limit before you hit the Shisha Sprint. Climb is a great move actually. If you can get people tired before that and then make your attack, I think a lot of times it's the setup before you actually head to the table.
Yeah, without any question, Nathan. So I'm looking, though, Aeonian, this could also backfire on you out here, as there's some teams I think they're going to try to use this as a springboard into the finale. This group will be, my guess, Nathan, is halved over the course of the next 10K as we move into the finale. Backhouse showing a lot of courage right now, but they're going to shut this one down here.
Yeah, shut it right on down. And was the chase here from Galaxy? Will it be a counter move, though? Look, Galaxy to the front. Nope, the Tron goes to 0. You saw that? One thing if you want to watch for is whether or not attacks are actually being made. If you see a Tron bike, it does give a little bit of information as to whether or not somebody's making a move, because if the Tron stops lighting up, you know that that rider went to 0 watts or around 0 watts. They just stopped it. And so it was really obvious there. After Galaxy had shut that down, boom, nothing on the front any longer, shut down the watts, and just carted to the front again, spinning and controlling it, looks like. That is what we've got out here today. You do see Team Rave here close to us in that little bit of a reddish multicolor kit on the left-hand side of the screen. Now in the lower left, we've got, it looks like Aeonian well represented still with at least 4 riders here. Galaxy with 4 riders. Team Italy there with 1. Herd very well represented in the green and the red kits. I'm seeing a lot of Herd riders actually. Dave, do they outnumber looking through here?
I think Galaxy is the team to. For me, I'm going to have to take a closer look, but for me, Nathan, right now, I'm really looking at Lindsay Rogers here, the Galaxy rider. I have a feeling that the setup is coming. Now, this is going to be really fun to watch. Here we go. We are locked and loaded. This is not a drill. The strongest women in this race have made it to this threshold, and this is going to absolutely explode. So, Nathan, you're right. I mean, look at that. A lot of Aeonian moving up to the front now. This is really evenly matched for the most part. Outside of our Cryo RDT rider, just about everybody else has got some sidekicks here with them. Lindsay Rogers, though, I'm saying watch out for this Galaxy rider.
Really? Lindsay Rogers. Hey, we're going to have to see what the history here is with Rogers. And it does look like she does have a good sprint, it looks like. Not too bad. 20-minute power, though. She's one of these riders I think that you need to watch out for a sneak away move. She could have something
she's right
up
there.
her sleeve.
Yeah, it looks to be motivated here today as well. And that's going to come up really be a big part of this, is who wants it more. With this quality of a field at this point in the bike race, it's going to be incredibly dynamic out here. Tactics are going to be at an all-time high, Nathan. It's fun. It really is fun racing in a group like this. This is the energy that we're looking for, the critical mass that you need for an awesome bike race. Well, we had that all lined up, and these ladies have put on quite a show as we're down well inside of 15K. So it is on from here on in. And Nathan, you can feel the pressure again being applied. Some of the riders here are getting up out of the saddle at the back of this group as they realize you can't let any kind of a micro gap open right now, because here we go. Backhouse back on the gas.
It is going to be Backhouse on the front here. As you can see, she pushes the pace, and this is going to be the climb into the Shisha Sprint here that they are going to be taking on. Now to the front, it looks like it is going to be Westergaard here now taking over with this pace. Backhouse was pushing on at about 3.8 watts per kilogram. That's right up into the threshold. The maximum of the threshold for this C category is going to be right about that 3.5 to 4.0 watts per kilogram as we watch the data there. So be on the lookout for those numbers, because that's going to tell you as to whether or not they are really pressing the pace. But this is going to be that little bit of a bump that we saw in the course profile. It's going to take them probably about 2 to 3 minutes to make this climb. And there's a little bit of there's a sprint banner up at the top. Now, there is no points at that sprint banner, but they probably are going to make a little bit of push toward it, because on the other side of it, David, flattens out and goes straight into the downhill. You can pop people off and have tons of speed in a group that just starts rotating through. So I have a feeling they're going to be waiting for that moment for a kick here. Watch out. I have a feeling Galaxy and Aeonian are going to be the ones that are going to be really ramping up there.
Yeah, Nathan, I feel like for Galaxy, they just want to keep the momentum going for the work that they've done so far, right? I mean, they really have set this up for what should be a great last act, but these teams are looking to disrupt as well. As we see, pace is lifting, and here we go, Nathan. I mean, it's going to be this next minute that tells us a lot about how this is going to play out here.
It really is. And we do see Gabby here from the Galaxy team now making her move. It is a counter move kind of that we saw, but to Backhouses, but now Aeonian back to the front. Chris from Rave on the right-hand side of the screen there, also following up, and everybody who knows how to make the moves and who to follow, they're all making their way to the front. The cream of the crop now rising to the top of the Shisha Sprint climb.
Got to give credit to Harriet Gilson. She's back at it, well positioned. I thought she might attack again, Nathan. She was the rider that was off the front just a few minutes ago that wisely pulled the pin to keep her energy levels high enough to be in this group. Again, Galaxy doing such a great job. They look to have 4 in this group. Aeonian on 3, I'm going to say. So we really have whittled our front group down. Zuzka Meskova still right there. I mean, is she going to unleash old school fury here in the finale? 13K to go, Nathan.
Oh, Dave, this is so exciting to watch, actually, the way that these teams are just back and forth at each other. Actually, now Galaxy with this arrow power up. Nicely done here. This is going to be that Gabby rider now again, and be on the watch out for her. I think that this is one of the riders to really watch out for if she can make it to that final. It doesn't look like it's going to split, though, here, Dave. I have a feeling that there's enough strength now at this point to keep plenty of riders still involved now. Off the back, though, Galaxy suffering just a little bit. Is that going to be Beth? No, it's not going to be Beth. It's actually going to be Carter of all riders. Now, Dave, she's done the work, but at this point, no longer able to hang on, and this is going to be Jay Carter off the back. If they press the pace at the front, the workhorse no longer going to be there.
Hey, that is a real hero, Nathan. The rider that gives it up for her teammates, that is what this sport is all about. I'm going to give her rider of the day up to this point. The fact that she's being dropped out of this group tells me that she gave 100% of what she brought to the start line. That's the real hero.
And now the setup has been done. Can she get back on terms? If they calm down at the front, perhaps they can. Is the control here coming in from this Gabriella from Galaxy, the teammate? But I have a feeling she's pressing the pace, actually. The way that her avatar is behaving here, Dave, I get the sense that this is not a hold-up, but actually pressing the pace to see if they can continue on here. Aeonian there, sticking to the wheel now as well. It looks like, what do we got for team representation here at this point, Dave? Let's get a good look at these jerseys.
Well, and so obviously we've talked about the purple of Galaxy quite a bit, Nathan. I believe that they still have 3 in this group right now. As you make a great point, Aeonian with 2 here, or is it 3? Actually, I apologize, 3 in the group for Aeonian right now. But taking our inventory, and this could change. I think a few more riders are being shown the back door, Nathan.
Yeah, it looks like another Galaxy rider just off the back. Is she suffering, though, is the big question. I'm not sure.
Oh, I would think so.
Meskova.
She's not back there for fun.
We're talking about here now. Is Meskova going to be able to hang on?
Well, it has been so active at the front, and Meskova is coming back, and this might even be an attack through the group right now. As watch out. I mean, I'm glad to see Meskova is not only back, but she's rolling right through the peloton. Way to pick that one up, as here we go. It is Zuzka time, as she looks like, I'm not sure exactly what was happening there, Nathan, but she's still going to be a big part of this conversation. I was surprised to see her dangling off of the back, but she's right back where she wants to be, up near the front of this group. These women are all in. What a committed front group we're looking at. Boy, this is challenging, isn't it, Nathan? Trying to pick a winner out of this group. Are you kidding me? There's 10 women in this field right now that still believe that they will take the big W here.
Yeah, I'm looking through 1, 2, 3, 4 Galaxy riders, 1 Rave. We've seen 1 from Team Italy there as well on the right-hand side of your screen now at this point.
Cryo has 1.
1, 2, 3, 4 from Aeonian. Cryo with the 1. Correct. And then Herd with a lot of green and red. I'm seeing 1 green and 2 red from what I'm seeing here when it comes to the Herd kits as well. So that's the setup here now at this point. The favor does go to Aeonian and Galaxy when it comes to numbers.
10.5K to go here as we move into the back end right now. So All right. This is what remains here, Nathan. I don't think we're going to see anybody coming back into this group.
See
They're
the
keeping
sole
the pace.
rider? Look at Carter, like off in the distance. Oh, but you can see she's still.
She wins rider of the day in my book.
She's still working
helps
for it.
set.
You can tell she's still working for it.
Yeah, well, a great job by Jill Carter out here today. As I was saying, Nathan, a lot of times the riders that do this work in the first half of the race aren't recognized for that, but she really pitched in for her Galaxy team here today. So if they do get a result, I'm sure that there'll be some thanks over the Discord. But back to the front of the bike race, it's going to be Chris, the Rave rider. Nathan, did you say 2 Rave in this group? I'm wondering if she has a teammate here.
It may be only one now at this point. I'm looking through, and I think Chris is the only rider from Rave, actually.
All right. So I agree with you. Now, it is a little tricky, as Nathan was noting. The herd team does have, there are so many herd riders. They use many different species, and sometimes you'll get different kits in the same race, and that's what's happening with herd here.
Looking through Christine S. and she rides for Rave, but it's Rave Against the Machine. That's a very familiar one, isn't it, Dave? We've seen them plenty of times in the TTT as well as in ZRL. Great to see them back out here representing 142 races underneath her belt as she's out here with a solid, looks like her 20-minute is going to be where she's favored, most likely. She's got a good 1 minute as well at 455 watts, so she might be able to use that with a little bit of a kick through the later dirt or something, leaving into Makuri here. But this solo Rave rider, I think that she's going to have to take advantage of the other teams out here today and play things really smart.
The big question now for me, Nathan, is Chelsea Williams, the top sprinter on paper in this field, but is she in this group? My answer, I think, is no.
Oh, wow.
To tell you the truth. Did she get her ticket punched? Did Galaxy do it, Nathan? I don't want to jump out in front of my skis here because she might be in this group, but I don't think she is.
I'm looking through.
Am I right or wrong, Nathan? Help me out, my friend.
Williams here at this point.
This is the big news. Yeah, Chelsea was the rider.
She was a big favorite out here today for herd.
They did it.
For sure.
They punched her ticket, Nathan. She's not in this group.
Are we right about that? Hold on. Let me just double check. Let me double check here real quick because my Zwift Power is saying something a little bit. I don't want to get this wrong. I'm looking through.
Me either, because this is the most significant data point really that we can have for our C women here as they come inside of 8.7K to go.
I think she did make it. I think she did make it. I'm looking through. I'm looking for the name.
To be
honest, Here we go. It's just the name was a little bit different. That's the reason why it was hard to find there amongst. Because it's just Chelsea. Because it was just Chelsea, and there was no. I was looking for Williams. So fake news. Apologies. Chelsea's made it.
She's there.
She's made it.
Help me find her in the group, Nathan, so we can get a read on her.
This is there. This is it.
There we go. Yep, there you go.
She's got the fedora. You can recognize her because she's got the fedora. She's on the Canyon. She's got the fast DT Swiss wheels.
So she went aero, and that's what we talked about at the top of the broadcast. You know, Nathan, you are my expert, and Kristen Kolchinski, actually. But bike choice is pivotal in getting results at this level. And you can see that she's gone with a very, very slippery machine.
Look at her hanging out on the back, too. Oh, what's this? What's this? That was a big kick there from Ionian. Who is the Ionian rider on the move? Is that going to be Backhouse? Right to the front. It was Backhouse. Backhouse with the kick there as they head toward the dirt. She's going to try and carry some speed into here. Is the Ionian going to hold it up at the front there, or is she going to go with them is going to be the question. Seeing that Chelsea was on the back, perhaps.
Yeah, I think this is trying to set up something here. As you can see, Aeonians all over the front. They don't have a rider in this group that's not sitting in the front 5. So clearly, at least they're trying to position themselves, everybody on their toes right now. Nathan, we're down to a baker's dozen up in our front group here. So we started with a large field, right around 40 riders, and it's whittled down to this.
Yeah, and look at this dirt section. I think she was trying to set up through here to maybe carry some speed in to the dirt section and get some separation. Oh,
suppress another
Galaxy's
attack.
Almost back on terms. This is about Galaxy, Dave.
Well, it's been out about Galaxy just about all day out here. Got to give Helen Backhouse a ton of credit for really, standing up. But this team has been quite incredible. Looking now.
Did Neskolda go back? Did she go back for her? Is that what happened?
No, but it certainly. So it's one of the two. Either Zeskova is so strong that she wants to bring Carter back, which has happened, and I'm amazed. Carter is back up into this group now. So
talk about teamwork.
That was
true, amazing. Did you see Meskova goes back, grabs Carter? I think Iceni were like, uh-oh,
so what does that tell you,
organized and attacked.
Well, and for me, Nate, the tell there is Zuzkova is as strong as I thought.
It's a good call. It's a good call. Wow. Talk about teamwork. Galaxy, well done.
That's
brings
insane.
Carter back in. Now the question is, does it make a difference? Like, was that a match worth burning for this scratch race out here today? Will Galaxy get the win for that?
It's funny, Nathan. We've been talking about so much racing lately in Zwift world, right? And team racing and top 3 riders. And, if we were looking at it from that perspective, what a job by Galaxy today, keeping their head above water all day long. Franken, though, the Castelli rider, the South African, she's back up there near the front.
Real quickly, Dave, we got to talk about this.
Jersey.
This is pretty much from here forward, it's almost all climbing. Like, it may not be climbing that's steep all the way through, little reprieves here and there. You can draft a lot on it, but if you press it, you can pretty much press all the way through, gain speed through the flatter sections of it. And there's one reprieve when you hit Makuri official again. That's about it.
Yeah. But Nathan, your point is really valid. Even though there are 2 tiny little dips where you're not climbing, you should be pressing even harder on those little downhills if you want to make a big delta, a big difference out here. We've talked about how downhills are the new uphill. Well, at the end of the day, uphill is going to be where races are won and lost, but it's going to be really interesting. You're absolutely right about that, Nathan, this is going to come down to a true OSS situation. Only the strong are going to survive in this group, as here we go. You can see gradient's gone from 3 to 4%. It just got real.
It has gotten real. Now, Team Italy toward the front there with that ZRL helmet. That's going to be Franken now maybe looking to take over. But I have a feeling, Dave, the way that they're riding this right now, it tells me that they're still they're
conservative.
Conservative. They're hanging on. They're waiting for their moment. And I think if somebody does want to make that break, can we even do it? You start getting that question in your head, don't you? You start getting that question of, if I risk something now, is it even worth it? Well, looks like Galaxy's answering the question yet again to the front.
But, it's not a huge risk right now, but it is just starting to apply the pressure on the front. Nathan, I am so impressed by the level of racing we're seeing from our C women out here, because what you are looking at is a well thought out tactical slugfest going on out here, and it's going to be Backhouse on the front. Again, this Aeonian rider has been irrepressible out here today in her home races. This is it, folks. We are right into the thick end of Iceni's Warm-Up Dash presented by Aeonian Race Team. This is what it's all about. So Nathan, the strong have survived to this point, but we're going to see what I would imagine will be quite a final act here. As Meskova moving. Ooh, man.
Ooh, that's a big kick. Big kick here. Here we go. That's going to be Gilson, the priority T, and with the feather power up. Here we go, Dave. This is it. This is the move. We waited for it. It's halfway up into the climb here, Dave, as she makes a serious move from Harriet Gilson. Priority T, no teammates, and she's used everybody else at this point. Big gap, Dave.
Oh! It is on like Donkey Kong from here on in, Nathan. It's been too long since we've been able to share a moment like this. Esports racing at its very best. Well, we call this Makuri, but I'd like to welcome you to downtown Pain City right now as Harriet Gilson has hit out with authority. And look at the gap. She's already opened up 10 seconds now. Meskova trying to respond. This could be a knockout blow. We haven't seen anything like this for many months here. Oh, man, Nathan, so the only rider on cryo, let everybody else empty the chambers. Now, we got a long way to go, 5K of racing. Nathan, can she do it?
This is a big question because there's a lot of teams behind, Dave, aren't there? I mean, if we get a look at this pack, Meskova is leading things out here at this point. This is far from over here now at this point. So, Meskova being that, she has been the sacrificial teammate so far, hasn't she? Went back for Curry. Now she's to the front again. Aeonian on the wheel. There's lots of teams to work together. But Dave, can they even work together at this point? People are falling off left and right.
Yes.
This may be everyone just in for themselves to make that move if they can. But she's still got 15 seconds, Dave.
I honestly think it's going to be these two, to tell you the truth, Nathan. So Harriet Gilson of Cryo RDT off the front. Zuzka Meskova and Helen Backhouse, they have shown themselves to be the two strongest women in our C field up to this point. Let's see if they can work together. What a visual that is right there. Taking a look at our leader now. This is the vanguard, the Tête de la Corsa, Harriet Gilson. Nathan, she's been so smart, so savvy out here. Let's throw her some ride-ons right now, as Harriet Gilson certainly has been the woman to meet the moment. Franken getting up there now. Lindsay Rogers is there. These are the names that we were highlighting. So, oh boy, she's taking it out to 18 seconds back to that group, and we're down to 4.3K to go. I don't know that there's a formula, Nathan, that you could look at saying like they need to bring back 5 seconds per kilometer. It's not really going to work that way. If Harriet Gilson can stay on it like she is, I mean, this is a human wattage cottage I love it. There you go. Someone
I gave her one. That was me.
Did you?
I opened up my companion app. And
I need to open up my companion app. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm going to, when you see 37, that'll be me, because I got to get my app open here. But Nathan, Harriet Gilson is putting on a clinic in courage. Gap going up still. So if she can continue with this trajectory for another 2 minutes, she's going to win this bike race. They've really got to respond. They're letting it going out way, way too far. So the South African, that's going to be Lily Franken with the Slovakian Zuzka Meskova, Helen Backhouse out of the United Kingdom, and then you can see the Norwegian rider Gunhild Vestergaard is up there. But Nathan, this is gone right now when you talk about Harriet Gilson.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they can bring this back. The roll throughs coming on in here as they hit the flatter sections. They're about to hit the dirt in just a moment here with Gilson now at 23 seconds, 4.1 watts per kilogram. This looks all but over for a solo win, and they're going to have to set up for an uphill sprint and settle for second, it looks like, as the Cryo DT rider with no teammates sat in, waited for her moment halfway up this climb, and now she is off the front with 24 seconds. Make it 25.
She is playing 4D chess, Nathan. They're playing checkers right now.
Almost
different game.
100% different game at this point. As you can see, this is the reprieve we had talked about for just a moment. There will be one more section as well. She's going to hit some dirt here in a section. Now, when they hit that dirt section, I've raced this Makuri 40 many times. And this section, of course, if somebody wants to make a really serious jump, because the reality is that Harriet is going to hit this and have to be steady, right? She's already at threshold. She's already been putting out, she can't really jump too much at this point, right? You're not going to see a major watt per kilogram or speed increase through here. And when it slows down, when there's a section where there's extra force against the wheels or extra force against the bike, a higher kick will gain a ton of time. Maybe a rider in that pack behind might be able to at least get away for a second place or bring back a big time gap if they punch through this right here, through this dirt.
Yeah, I don't even think Mike Tyson punches that hard at this point, Nathan. 31 seconds now with 2.5K. So what I was going to say is watch her heart rate here for Harriet. It probably won't go above 173 again, but she's been it just hits 175. So thank you, Harriet. Actually, that was going to be Lily Franken. So, okay, good. But I do think that she has found her rhythm right now, and I don't think there's enough delta left. Your thought, though, Neil, about an attack out of this group for second is much more likely in my mind, Nathan.
Nobody really making a move, though, Dave. Conservative.
I think they let that ship sail, to tell you the truth.
I have a feeling that they have said Gilson is gone here at this point, as you can see. And as
maybe they didn't let that ship sail. That ship sailed.
It just sailed.
That was that.
Point.
Right. Yeah, 171 now. So she's not fading, Nathan. You can see her watch. I love all the data that you're bringing. By the way, tremendous job with the production today, Nathan. Absolutely brilliant. Feels so good to watch this kind of racing again as we bring our C women home inside a 2K to go for our leader out of the United Kingdom, the only rider on legendary Cryo RDT. Way to fly the flag, right, Nathan? If you're the only rider on your team, she certainly has commanded the most attention with this attack. Perfectly timed. Again, Harriet Gilson. Just a legend out here.
Another rider that
40.
we've talked about a lot. Look at her chops here at this point, sitting in and waiting for the moment to pounce. This is going to be Chelsea Williams. We highlighted her at the beginning here. The question is, what does she have up against the other sprinters that are out here today in comparison? Other teams that are here between them. It's going to be interesting to see here, Dave.
So Chelsea played all of her cards perfectly except for one, and that was not being able to respond to the Harriet's attack. Because at this point now, I would bet lunch that Chelsea wins. She hasn't put her nose in the wind that I've seen, or the virtual wind out here now, Nathan. And I definitely think that Chelsea should be good if this group doesn't splinter on the way, because she really has let Galaxy do most of the work, Aeonian the rest of it for the most part, hurt a little. And ultimately that Cryo attack ends up being the decisive moment in this race. Everything would have been perfect outside of that for Chelsea Williams today.
True, and just the inability to respond to somebody who just has that motor, right, Dave? I mean, that's all Nathan, there is to it.
Well, or you continue to let other people do the work until they don't. And that, you never know when they're going to stop chasing for you, right?
Looking to the front now, Gilson.
That's our leader.
Yeah, here we go. As she's steady 3.6. She's got 40 seconds now at this point. Behind Dave, the question for me, is this Gabriella versus Chelsea Williams? That's the closest matchup I'm seeing. 554 watts for 15 seconds. And I'm seeing 596 for 15 seconds. That's going to be Gabriella Fallado from Galaxy versus the Herd Rider, Chelsea Williams behind. That's going to be the matchup most likely, I would think. We do see 523 from Team Italy there from Lee Franken, but Franken's been on the front a lot. So be interested to see how that ends up playing out. We're into the last 466 meters, but Dave, it is a sharp uphill, isn't it?
It is, but Harriet has positioned herself perfectly now to take the win. The action, and good job, Nathan. We'll watch her come across the line down to
around. Making a move. She said she's upsetting the sprint here, isn't she?
Chelsea. Yeah, well, they couldn't wait to sprint with Chelsea Williams. So Zuzka, who's been so strong out here, Nathan, is doing what she can. It's two-pronged here. Either she takes the silver medal or her teammates have a better chance of beating Chelsea Williams in the sprint.
Now we do get Gilson here. Last little feather power-up. She saved the best for last here, didn't she, Dave? As she makes her way across the line in just a moment here. It gets into that 10%. A little bit of a dip here. This is as you can see, it's going to make things interesting, isn't it, Dave, when it comes to the sprint between the rest of the riders. But nice job out here for Gilson.
She reminds me of you, Nathan. She gives even though she was well clear, she still sprints to the finish line and makes a massive effort out there. That was a fantastic win, racing with her legs and her head out here. But let's turn our attention back to our finale, Nathan.
This is going to be Chelsea. Is she going to be able to do it? Franken coming quickly, though. Chelsea Williams, maybe not going to be what we thought she's going to have here. It's going to be Franken with a perfectly timed arrow power up to the line. And it's going to be second place for Franken across the line, followed up by Chelsea from the Herd team. And then Seeley just barely nabbing that fourth place for Aeonian. Wow. What a race out here today, Dave. That was absolutely amazing to see. These ladies, they really put on a show.
Well, that is what we're looking for all season long. Welcome back to Racing on Zwift Live on Tuesdays. Nathan, we found the perfect race to start with. We've got 6 weeks of ZRL to look forward to over the next Tuesdays, but that was a really nice way to kick off a new season for us.
Yeah, these ladies, they put on an awesome show out here today for us, and really, really appreciate Carla Williams, the Warrior Games, Iceni Series, and all the ladies that showed up for the Iceni Warm-Up Dash. We'll get the results here in just a moment for everybody to take a look at how things played out between them. We will take a quick look here. A couple of replays about how it went down, though, out here today. Dave, one of the coolest moments that I saw here in the warm-up dash was this moment with Carter coming back in to the group there. The teamwork from Galaxy, I think that was a huge highlight today.
Absolutely, Nathan. We watched that team really execute at a high level. You don't have to win the bike race to always win on the day. And Galaxy should be proud of themselves. The way that they raced, they really show a high racing tactical acumen without any doubt. So credit where it's due. I might even give Galaxy the team of the day.
Yeah, they really, the teamwork out there was absolutely amazing.
Right?
That's for sure.
Helping each other.
Amazing.
This was the woman, though, who made her mark out here. Without any doubt, Harriet was just exceptional. When she opened up that gap, Nathan, you pretty quickly realized that she was not going to be seen again today.
Gilson, absolutely amazing. Priority, way to represent her team out there today. And a shout out also, maybe that was for Katrine Nilsson as well, right? I mean, she's out there looking for an Olympic medal. She's like, look, might not be able to show up on the day, but we're going to go and represent for cryo and get the W. And Dave, we talked about this throughout the race that, or before the race, even during our course profile look, that this climb was going to be the spot, and they waited for it, and they definitely delivered where we thought they would.
Well, how about the level of racing out here, Nathan? I mean, don't sleep on these C's. You highlighted a few riders today saying 140 racers for her, 160. There's a tremendous amount of experience. And if you want to look at fun per kilometer, these C women might be the leaders in the clubhouse.
Now, Miskova, this was another rider I definitely want to highlight here. Late move, didn't end up playing out for her, but she put in a lot of work for the Galaxy team, bringing the pack back together as much as she possibly could. We did see the win here, obviously, from Gilson. Nice job for her crossing the line. And then it was the battle for second, third, and fourth place out there that we did catch as well. And we thought it was going to be Chelsea Williams from the Herd team, but unable to pull it off. It was going to be Team Italy with Franken coming out of South Africa, able to get that second place, followed up by Chelsea Williams, and then Aeonian rounding out the top four. So great racing out there today in this C category. Let's take a quick look at the results.
All right. Thanks a lot, Nathan. As it's going to be Harriet Gilson up on top of the table, as we said, the only cryo RDT rider in the field, and she gets it done. Lily Franken, though, she should be really proud of the keeping her head in the game and being able to take that silver medal with Chelsea Williams in for third today. Chelsea certainly backed up her incredible numbers. Tracy Seeley for fourth of the Aeonian team. Another Herd rider, Claire Spencer, in at fifth today. Helen Backhouse, very active, maybe even the most active of all out there, the Aeonian rider, in for sixth. Zuzka Meskova, she's going to be seventh today for Galaxy. And then you can see a lot of Galaxy found the top 10 with Beth and Gabby. And then Gunhild Vestergaard will end up in the top 10 and rounding out our top 10.
And let's take a quick look at the, looks like we don't have any A results actually able to be shown. So we will be able to have some B results though here for you. This is from the B categories. We do want to make sure that we are covering across all of the categories best as we possibly can. So the B category with Larissa Heisbauer, they're coming on through, followed up by Kitty Kate. Then it's going to be Josephine Almqvist, Sammy Profumo from Team Italy, then Jen Buckley from Bella Velo, Suzanne Monkhouse from Electric Spirit Co., and Deborah Morgan from WCC. And we'll just see if we do have some D results here that have come through yet. No, we do not know D results as of yet. So you have to head on over to zwiftpower.com for those. But what a great kickoff, hey, Dave?
Yeah, that's exactly what we were looking for. Felt really good to get some great esports racing going again. So thanks to all the women for putting on quite a show.
Now, what this is all about is each week we will be here on Tuesdays covering all of the awesomeness that is a part of the Zwift racing community. And we also will tell you about what's coming up on Zwift when it comes to racing. If you want to check out your monthly racing monument, the Zwift World Series is currently happening with community races, and we do have on Thursday the qualifiers for the elite racing with a broadcast as well. So make sure to check out, it's going to be stage 1. I actually checked it out. It's a great mix on what is the Richmond course. It's absolutely crazy. 3 laps of the first climbs that you have there, and then you take on the course itself once again. It's a hard course, about 40K, but it's a great monument. Make sure to go check it out. Experience the thrill of racing on a global stage with the Zwift World Series. If you want more information, zwift.com/racing/elite. 5 monthly races from September through January. Again, the community side of things, they've got about 3 races a day, I believe it is. Go ahead and check them out for yourself. If you want to get involved in the qualifiers for the elite, you can look into that as well there. And we'll have that racing coming up for the qualifiers this Thursday. Then we also have Zwift Racing League, obviously kicking off next week, September 10th through October 15th for round number 1. Largest team event in cycling. Head over to wtl.racing/Zwift-Racing-League. That's where you can find all the information. You still have time to get registered. He'll still have time to find a team. And Dave, we actually have for next week, that's going to be our feature, is the first race for the Zwift Racing League with the TTT.
I can't wait. I'll be here ready to go, Nathan.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in. This has been a great kickoff show. Don't forget, this has been all about the Iceni series. If you want to check out more women's racing, sign up for the Iceni series starting this Saturday. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you on Thursday for the ZWS qualifiers from Dave and I. As always, ride on.